Hey, what's up, guys? It's Claudio here, and it's Randall's Island. We are back, the Category 4 criterium, and we are into the neutral lap. So if you didn't see the previous race from last weekend, this is a really hard course because of the wind and because of it's so narrow, and the Category 4 has a ton of different people at a lot of different levels of fitness. So you have some really strong riders that are pushing the front. You have some more inexperienced riders like myself, just trying to find a way in there. So here are my stats really quick. If you don't know, age 37, my FTP right now is 266, fresh FTP. And then max heart rate also, I reached 192 somehow. I don't know how that's possible to continue to reach higher heart rates, but anyways, I did that on my FTP test. And I train about 10 hours a week on TrainerRoad. Currently doing the high volume general build. I have a bunch of cool races coming up, a bunch of criteriums like this, and some road races, and some climbing races, and a stage race at the end of the season. So this section here is hitting us really hard with the wind. It's got a cross section kind of wind from left to right, and it's one of the hardest sections of this course. You can see the wind is just coming out of off the river. So if you guys want to follow along on Instagram, I post all of my workouts on my stories. So Claudio_Fierro. And you'll be able to follow along what I'm doing pretty much day to day. So, this is all about staying out of the wind, getting in the draft. It's so easy to say, follow the wheel, get on that wheel. It's easy to think that you can close a gap, but it's actually really hard. I mean, right now it's neutralized. But as you'll see, there are gaps forming, and sometimes I let those gaps go because I don't want to surge, and I let people fill in. Other times I'm really tight on that wheel. I did way better this race than the other races as far as drafting. So I'm happy about that, and I survived. I survived a good 35 minutes in this race. Because of that, and you really have to push it. You got to push it, even when you're right on the edge. You got to hop on those wheels and try to get some kind of draft benefit. So last week, everybody surged here, and but the pace motorcycle kind of learned his lesson, and he is bringing the race. He's making sure it's still neutralized. You see, everybody's expecting it to go hard already from last week, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" But it's going to be neutralized until right at the start line, and it's about to start right now. Okay, so the race is on, and this is kind of like this is really a hectic time because everybody knows there's going to be some kind of a split, and people want to be at the front. Some people just are hanging on for dear life, like myself. I'm trying hard not to blow myself up, and I'm trying to stay on the left here because this is the crosswind from right to left. Stay left, and if somebody can shelter me like this guy to my right, that's good. So a lot of surging, a lot of kind of like this slight panic is what's happening. It's like, oh my God, we don't want to be left behind, but also you don't want to blow yourself up. And this, everybody brakes. I had to go wide there. The people in the front have the advantage of not braking, and that really helps. And this section is really tough. We're getting knocked around by the wind. This guy's surging, and I'm not going to close that. So I'm letting people fill in because there's no way I'm going to bridge all the way to the front in this kind of crosswind section. That for sure, I would have been finished if I tried to do that. So I let some people fill in the gaps, and then I ease back into it, try to catch a draft here, and just kind of recover from the first half a lap, which is also always crazy. And it looks dangerous with all these rocks, but it really doesn't feel dangerous. You know, everybody's like, oh my god, these rocks. It doesn't feel that dangerous. So I'm trying to stay a little bit to the right and behind, because that's where I think the best draft is. And I'm just in there trying to recover my heart rate, but it's still, you know, people are anxious to get up there because they know there's going to be a split. Those riders at the front are really pushing the pace. Everybody wants to be up there. So we're coming to this section. It's a little bit of a kicker. And again, this is a little bit of a surge, and you have to snap right on those wheels right away, or you're going to get left behind. So I'm really trying to close this gap. I'm working, 350, 400 watts. Finally, I kind of close it here, but it's still not totally closed. So I'm still like, gotta close it, and there is it's pretty much closed. But I could be closer. Really could be closer, like right there. Now they're slowing down, so going off to the side, and then trying to stay out of the wind here. This section, again, the crosswind is really intense. So second lap, it's still chaos. People are still figuring out where they want to be, where they're trying to be. You know, the fitness level is so spread out. You know, really strong riders. We have riders like myself. We have some juniors in there, so everybody, all kinds of levels. And here I took the inside, and that was good because I was able to grab that wheel and not brake as much. And you see the rider in front of me, he's kind of swerving side to side. It looks like a little sketchy, but he's fighting the wind. We are all getting tossed around by the wind. You have to stay on top of it because you get pushed around. I have 60 millimeter wheels, and I'm really getting knocked around. So that's another thing. You have to, when you're tired, when you're at your threshold heart rate or above, you got to stay strong. You got to stay strong in the upper body because you're gonna, you could easily, do some sketchy stuff, swerve unintentionally, and take people down. I got kind of yelled at for doing that at one point in this race. I don't remember where, but I was like right at my limit, and I kind of lost control a little bit because I just wasn't focused on staying strong with my upper body. But anyways, we come back to the group, and because that windy section really slows everybody down. So we got back. And we're all together, but I am like, I'm tired at this point. I'm trying to recover from the first 2 laps of this race and to find a rhythm, find a pace, find some people to ride with, and see where it goes. But I'm happy. I'm happy to be like in the race and pedaling with people. Usually I'm getting dropped in the first lap of this race. And here, everybody surges, and you gotta snap on that wheel. So here we have I think this is where the split happens. There's a split, and we're kind of now this little chase group. And I see this guy, he's going faster, he seems strong, I gotta switch wheels. If you're on a wheel and it's fading, person in front of you starts to fade, you gotta find a new wheel, right? It happens all the time, and you have to make those choices very quickly. So this guy is, taking a good pull, but we're kind of gapped, and we have a gap behind us actually. So we're sort of in this no man's land. I'm thinking we can still catch the group up there, but man, I'm toast. I really don't want to get in the wind at all, especially in this section. I do a pretty good job holding that guy's wheel. And you have to be sheltered here, or you're going to take a lot of punishment from the wind. Another thing, riders falling back, you got to be able to maneuver around them. So I did a good job here, and I think they were waiting for people to draft on, because it's hard. And I don't know what that hand signal was. He just signaled me to move back. Maybe people were on the road. I don't know. I don't understand. So there he flicks his elbow, and I tell him, man, I don't have it. There's no way. I can't do anything to contribute here. I'm already above my FTP, and I'm hurting. In order to close that gap, we need to I don't know, do above 300 watts. I do, at least. Maybe somebody up at the front doing 350 will close that to get us up to speed, above 20 miles an hour, 21, 22 at this section. But there are some strong riders in this little mini group that we have. I could tell how when they're pulling, they're taking some strong pulls. So basically, this is what happens. We just that's the split. A few people from the front group fall back, but the front group stays ahead, and then we have this kind of chase group going on. And then at some point we get it together and we start rotating. But look at this. I mean, we're getting gapped, and it's just kind of people are still just figuring out what's going on. And that's the race, pretty much. I get dropped at some point 35 minutes into the race because of I did several hard long pulls, and I just didn't have anything else, so I couldn't get back into the rotation after one of my pulls. And then the officials pulled me out because they were pulling out people that were getting dropped. But anyways, let's talk about TrainerRoad. What kind of workouts I've been doing. So here's an example of one. It is, let's pull it up here. So this is a VO2 max workout. It's a 2-hour long workout. This is what you'll find in the high volume workouts. You can find these in 1 hour versions of them. But the 2 hour, the high volume plans, they give you this 2 hours, so you have this extended aerobic kind of section at the end, and maybe more intervals. So it's 9 times 3-minute intervals at 115% of my FDP. So VO2 max intervals, and then you get 3 minutes of rest in between. So this is perfect for these kind of races. It really teaches you to get in those uncomfortable zones. With all the surging, and if you want to take a pull, that's really what I need to do. I need to do above 300 watts. This is perfect. This is the workout that I have tomorrow, my VO2 max workout, and then we have other workouts in this plan that have they're more endurance based, long endurance, and then sweet spot. And then I believe later on there's some that are more specific to building a sprint. So they throw in a few sprints in there. So TrainerRoad, 10 hours a week, that's the high volume standard, and it's working out. I got some good gains so far. Really excited about continuing this whole fitness journey and sharing it with you guys. So stay tuned. Next weekend there's a fun race in Prospect Park. that I'm going to do. It's category 3-4, and it's going to be very interesting. I've never raced with category 3 riders, and it's going to kick my butt. So excited about that. And then there's one more of these races, is Randall's Island Criterium that you're seeing here on Sunday. So it's Saturday and Sunday. I don't know if I'll have the lights to do another one on Sunday, but let's see where it's at. Anyways, thanks guys for thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I love all the comments that you guys give. Really helpful tips and everything. So thank you so much for that. And I will see you guys on the next one. I'll let this play out for you that want to check out the rest of the race. So see you later. See you out there. Peace.